Hey you guys, it's me, your girl T, and like I told y'all on Twitter and on Facebook, I was gonna come on here and just do some voiceovers. Right now, I'm not feeling too well, and I don't feel like setting up my equipment and my lights, and it's just easier for me to do a voiceover to just talk about all the things that you guys are asking me to talk about. It's been a hard 48, 72 hours. It's just been crazy. Every time I get ready to talk about one topic, something else happens. And you guys know I'm an editor, so it's like in between me editing these YouTube videos, trying to get these up, I'm also doing work for clients. So that's been hard, because I'm literally burying my face, in Final Cut, doing all this editing work. And then every time I take a break to log on to Twitter, it's like it's something else. Somebody's name is trending. Somebody's city's trending. It got so bad that I had logged on yesterday and I saw Gilbert Arenas trending, LAPD, protest, Black Lives Matter. So I thought maybe he had gotten shot by the LAPD. It's just crazy. Every time there's like a new hashtag, a new city, and it's just really, really taking an emotional toll. And I know not only myself, but on a lot of people, and people just want answers. We want to know what's going on. And like I said this morning, I woke up thinking today would be a better day. And as soon as I log on to social media, I see somebody else trending, another shooting in Dallas, and then last night some stuff went down at a Florida hospital where somebody was threatening to let go of some bombs. And, it's insane. So I wanted to come on here and talk about the Dallas police shooting. A lot of people wanted me to address that. And I found out about it Friday while I was in the middle of editing. I was taking a break from editing YouTube videos, and I jumped onto Twitter and people were hitting me up like, there's a shooting in Dallas. And, it was just crazy because it's like, I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on. Plus, I still have to get these projects done. And, I eventually just went to sleep. And then when I woke up in the morning, Micaiah Xavier Johnson's name was trending and everything else. Now, when I went to bed, the initial guy that they had coined as the shooter, they didn't have his name out, but they had his picture. It's now come out that his name was Mark Hughes, and he's like an activist in the community. Him and his brother, they did an interview last night that I watched with Don Lemon, and he was walking around with his AR-15. He ended up giving it to the police. But what I found interesting is that one of the police Twitter pages put his picture out there and said that he was a suspect without any proof, without any interrogation. And if it was not for Twitter, that man may have been hurt. It was because of social media showing a video of him giving that gun up that they were able to prove that he was not the one who was involved with the police shooting.
And nothing has happened.
So you saw him hand his gun over to
100%. At this corner where we were at, whatever cop was on that corner there, he gave it to that cop. He don't have his gun.
So you are confident?
100%. Man, listen, man.
I drove by.
Listen. Hold on. First of all, these guys came with him. These guys came with him, and so these are his classmates. 100% is not him.
You guys came here?
Yeah, we drove together. We met up in Arlington. We drove out here.
Now share with you this piece of video, and this was said to us by multiple people tonight. No less than 3 people talked about the moment that Mark Hughes had turned that AR-15 rifle over to this officer. They also went so far as to say, yeah, and the officer gave him a business card. So we heard that through the night, and now there is video that shows that exact moment and how it exactly played out. And the fact that Corey Hughes, when his brother was named the suspect earlier tonight by the Dallas Police Department, Corey Hughes talked to our Ken Molestina, went on the air, and was adamant.
So that was really insane. I found that kind of almost hypocritical because a lot of time when these shootings happen to civilians, the first thing that people say and the police say is to wait until we have all the facts. This is an ongoing investigation. We need to find out, we need evidence. We need to find out what's going on. But then in the same breath, as soon as it's a police shooting, you guys throw the first guy's face out there without any proof. But like I said, since then, he's been vindicated. What they're saying happened to Micah Xavier Johnson. Initially, it's like, I guess for me, I'm just frustrated because it's like there's so many different reports. It's so hard to even believe. It's so hard to know what to believe, who to believe. You know, the media says one thing, then it's another. Like I said before, I went to bed, one guy was the supposed shooter. I wake up, it's a whole nother guy. And then, you know, initially we're saying that the police shot the guy. They try to, you know, negotiate with him. And he was screaming, you know, death to white police. And he's part of Black Lives Matter. And he wanted to kill all white officers. And initially it was reported that he was shot. And then once I got into social media, people started sending me, you know, pictures and links that they had used a robot, to basically go into the vicinity where he was at and then, you know, detonate it. So he was basically blown up by a bomb. So that just was crazy to me, because I'm just like, if it's not one thing, it's another.
The crowds running for cover. Officers frantically trying to locate the shooter.
We got a guy with a long rifle. We don't know where the hell he's at. Slow down. He's in the damn building right there. Assist officer, shots fired. Code 3, stay off the radio. Officer down.
In the aftermath, 5 Dallas police officers are dead, 7 more wounded, as well as 2 civilians.
Get back!
A horrific ambush-style attack against police.
This was a well-planned, well-thought-out, evil tragedy by these suspects.
Tonight, law enforcement officials have identified the killer as 25-year-old Micah Xavier Johnson, a former Army reservist who was deployed to Afghanistan as a carpentry and masonry specialist and a self-described black militant. Johnson lived here in this Dallas suburb with his mother. A neighbor telling CNN Johnson was more withdrawn after his time in the war zone. A friend, though, said Johnson did not seem depressed or suggest he was capable of such deadly extremes.
He said he was upset about the recent police shootings. The suspect said he was upset at white people. The suspect stated he wanted to kill white people, especially white officers.
Police attempted to negotiate with the shooter, who told them he had bombs placed around the city. After those talks broke down and additional gunfire was exchanged, police sent in an armed robot.
We saw no other option but to use our bomb robot and place a device on its extension for it to detonate where the suspect was.
It all started at what was a peaceful protest in downtown Dallas, one of many across the country. Public outcry following police-involved shooting incidents in Baton Rouge and outside Minneapolis earlier in the week involving black men. President Obama speaking about the shooting from his overseas trip in Poland, calling Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings to offer condolences and support.
There has been a vicious, calculated, and despicable attack on law enforcement. Police in Dallas were on duty doing their jobs, keeping people safe during peaceful protests.
Most of the injured officers have been released from the hospital. 2 civilians remain hospitalized.
And they have his militant pictures out there. They're saying that he was in the Army Reserve. You know, this man clearly had issues, but I haven't seen anybody say anything about mental illness with this particular suspect as of yet. But with that being said, what was done was totally wrong. It was evil. You know, you guys know I have a big heart. You know, I have love for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Unless you do something to me personally, you know, I'm just that type of person. I'm a very empathetic person, you know, hence why I broke down the other day on camera. And I don't feel like I'm too big or better than anybody where I can't show my human side. You know, I'm a human being. I'm a mother. I'm a daughter. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to be ashamed of being emotional or being drained and speaking on being drained and speaking on being emotional. You know, so many times we're told, especially as black women, that, you know, you're a strong black woman and nobody should see you crying. You got to hold it down. Fuck that. I'm human. You know what I'm saying? And this shit is getting to me. Like, it's mentally draining me. It's making me nervous. Like, I'm getting anxiety. You know, thank goodness I work from home and I work for myself. But when I think about my brothers on their way to work, you know, praying they make it to work safe and come home safe. You know, my kids out here playing and hanging out on the basketball court and hoping, you know, they make it home and they're safe and they're not treated too differently from the little white friends that they hang out with. You know, so it's very stressful times right now. But with that being said, I'm also seeing that this is causing a lot of hate. You know, like I asked on Twitter this morning, I said, I feel like someone somewhere is benefiting from turning us against each other. And it was somebody else who wrote that as well on Twitter. I definitely agree with what he had to say. You know, I'm seeing memes saying kill the police, fuck the police. I saw a meme where it was somebody in a hooded black. I seen a meme with somebody with a black hood on their head, and they were like cutting off a police officer's neck. I've also seen a lot of racist memes. You know, black people deserve it. You know, Asians hate blacks, Indians hate blacks, Mexicans hate blacks, whites hate blacks. At some point in time, you know, everybody just hates you black people. You know, get the F out of here, go back to Africa. I mean, I've just seen so many just, you know, just crazy comments online and on social media. And social media can be a very ugly place. It can be very, very draining. So that's why, you know, I tend to log off and take a break. But with that being said, I don't care. You know, I just don't care if it's a police life being snuffed out or a regular civilian. At the end of the day, blue lives matter, black lives matter. We all bleed the same red blood. And my heart goes out to these fallen police officers, just like it does to these civilians who have lost their lives unjustly as well. You know, they came out there to serve and protect the community, to help monitor a peaceful rally. And one of my subscribers in Dallas, he was on his way down there. He had called me, and he said he ended up changing his mind at the last minute. He didn't go, and I thank goodness that he didn't go and that he wasn't shot or hurt or anything like that. But these people went down there to protect their community, and they ended up, you know, basically being picked off. 11 officers shot, 5 of them dead. You know, these officers are people's sons, brothers, fathers, you know. So my heart definitely goes out to them. I don't agree with just all of the craziness going back and forth with social media and people, you know, celebrating the death. Some people, not a lot, but people celebrating the death of these police officers and saying, you know what, y'all got one of ours, we got one of yours. It shouldn't be like that. It should not be a them versus us. And I feel like this is what it's turning into on social media. And I know there are a lot of good police officers, you know, and a lot of people who are hurt by what's going on around the country, to not only to the police, but to also the innocent civilians who are out here losing their lives unjustly. And I feel like a lot of stuff needs to be done. And it's very, very draining. It's very overwhelming. Like I said, I woke up this morning and we have another hashtag, you know, hashtag Alva Braziel. And it's so many different reports. Some people are saying that he was armed and he pointed a gun at the police and that's why they shot him. Other people are saying, you know what, it's a right to carry. Even if he had a gun, why was he shot? You know, so it's just so many just different narratives being spun. But the whole situation is just very, very upsetting. And I understand, you know, why people are looking at this as a race issue. I understand why people are very upset because conveniently, when a black man has a gun, I'm just saying, I'm going off of this narrative. If he did not point the guns at the officer and he just happened to have a gun, conveniently, when black men happen to have guns, they're treated as criminals. But when a white guy is waving a gun around and, you know, threatening people, somehow they can always shoot him where it's not lethal.
New details about this armed man who was shot by a police officer in Mission Bay Park after a tense standoff that forced children nearby to run and hide.
This is where it all began. The ordeal started yesterday. The man's car was parked right over here by the red curb, and he was shot way over there on the grass. Today we learned Lance Tamio's problems have been snowballing. This was the terrifying scene Wednesday. A man we now know is 45-year-old Lance Tamio, pointing a 9mm pistol at children, at a police helicopter, and directly at officers. Then this. Tamio was down, but it was still more than a half hour before police convinced him to get up and move away from his gun so they could arrest him. 10 News has learned Tamio is a financial consultant. His picture and bio posted on the website for LMT Financial Consulting Concepts. We're told that Tamio is heavily medicated, has not yet been able to speak to give a statement to detectives, but we are told that detectives do believe that he was trying to commit suicide by cop out here. Fortunately, he was not successful. We're live in Mission Bay. Allison Ash.
Man was shot and killed by 2 Houston police officers overnight.
Yeah, investigators are telling us right now that that man was waving around a revolver in the moments before he was shot. Eyewitness News reporter Marla Carter joins us now live with what we're learning about the man who was killed. Good morning, Marla.
Good morning, Fody. That man has been identified by family members as Alva Braziel. In fact, we just talked to his cousin a few minutes ago. We'll hear from him in just a minute. But first, I want to show you exactly what police say happened. They say that the man was just walking down Colvin, kind of where this truck is right now, walking down the street. He had a gun on him, a revolver, and they asked him to drop it. Now, these officers were just sort of doing a routine patrol of the area. There were 2 people in one car, so 2 officers in one patrol car. They both asked him to drop the weapon. Also, apparently, they say a witness even told the man to drop his weapon. He failed to do that. Then he pointed the revolver in the air, according to police, and then he pointed it at officers. That's when both of those officers fired numerous shots, several shots at least fired by those officers, and that man did die here at the scene. Now, again, we did just talk to Alvin's cousin, and he tells us that while he knows his cousin had a weapon, he doesn't think that he would point it at police. Here's what he had to say.
That's my cousin, my first cousin, and when I'm walking and I'm seeing this blood just on the pavement, that's crazy.
Now, investigators say, as with any officer-involved shooting, that this will be investigated by Internal Affairs and the District Attorney's Office. Also, want to let you know that those officers were wearing body cameras, so that video will be reviewed. Also, surveillance video from some of the businesses will be reviewed as well, and they're still looking at that to see on exactly what it captured. Also, want to let you know that those officers have been with the department for some time. One of them has been with the department for 10 years, the other for 13. Reporting live from the Sunnyside area, Marla Carter, 13 Eyewitness News.
How he can get shot once in the stomach and not 10 times. So that's what's outraging people. Now, with that being said, if this man was crazy enough to confront some police officers and to pull out his gun on them, then he should not be a hashtag. But that's the problem. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what is going on. It's just so many different stories, so many different ways to spin this. And there's a lot of marches going on too. T.I. was down there marching with the folks in Atlanta.
No racist police, no justice, no peace. No racist police, no justice, no peace. No racist police, no justice, no peace. No racist police, no justice.
There was a huge march in Phoenix that ended up kind of turning bad. A lot of folks out here with tasers and tear gas and stuff like that.
Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! You kill one of us, you kill all of us. Let them round you up. Don't let them ruffle your feathers. That is what they want to do. They want a reason to justify what they doing to everybody. It ain't about me being black. You white, you green, you yellow. They don't care what color you are. You a piece of cattle to them. They brought you over here and stole all this stuff from you. And then they make you work their job. They make you dependent on their system. That's what they want from you. Amen.
So that was kind of a messy rally, but a lot of folks in Atlanta came together peacefully. Even the Bloods and Crips came together to show solidarity. But with that being said, I also hope they come together to not take each other out, to not take the lives of other black people. It's great to come together for a cause like this, but also realize that outside of this cause, we're a community and we have to show ourselves love first. This is why a lot of people don't like blacks and don't respect us when we die and when we get killed by the hands of police, because so many of us don't like each other and so many of us are so quick to hurt each other. So I hope that this truce in Atlanta that's going on between the Bloods and the Crips, I really hope that it trickles down into the community and they also treat each other well as black people. So it was good to see them come together like that. It was good to see folks come together peacefully and basically shut down the highway. And then out in LA, there was also some rallies out there, and Snoop Dogg and The Game, they went to meet with the LAPD and they spoke in front of the cameras.
Some of these, police officers, the mayor's here, we didn't even know this was going to happen, but it's happening. No, we're here to show support for these police officers that's getting, into the field or whatnot, and just trying to get some dialogue with them, so that way when they hit the streets, they know that we just like them. We okay. We can communicate.
Hate us, not today.
Not today.
Hunt us, not today. Hunt you, not today.
There you go.
Together.
Hey, peace, unity.
Peace, unity.
Peace.
I'm here for peace and equality. I'm here for the same reasons that people before me came here. I just want a unified front for all races. You know what I'm saying? And the one race, the human race. I want us to reintroduce ourselves to the LAPD, and the LAPD to have an opportunity to look us in our eyes and reintroduce themselves, to us, so that there's no hatred on either side, and that love is reciprocated from here to New York and back, because America is torn, and I like to put a Band-Aid on it.
So I thought that was good. I'm happy to see some of these celebrities now starting to step up and speak out, as opposed to just being quiet and not speaking on the issue. And the ones who have nothing to add to the conversation, then yeah, maybe they should just fall back. Killer Mike has been out speaking up about this and saying what we need to do and the solutions that we need to find.
David Banner said that he spoke on the Brock Newman show a few weeks ago. My brother, man, that brother said you got two choices. You can attack them through violence, or you can attack them through money. Now, everybody's not afraid to kill each other, but we seem to be afraid to kill a clear and open enemy. So if you ain't gonna take them M16s, them Kalishnikovs, and all this other stuff that you rap about, killing each other with it, if you're not gonna take them to the streets, then at least to my rappers and my entertainers, help these people direct their money in a way. If you're gonna buy a Wingstop, ask if Rick Ross on it first. If you're gonna go to Chick-fil-A, just go to the one in Greenbrier on Camp Creek. But don't allow $1 of your money to leave your community again, and to these dogs that ask for your vote, to these dogs that ask for your money, and to these dogs come begging for you to get back into their economic system. Don't you spend $1.
So it's just been a very, very interesting, like I said, 72 hours. It's been a lot of emotions, lots of ups and downs, and I feel everybody's pain. And thank you guys for being there for me, on social media and talking to me on Twitter and the emails and stuff like that. It means a lot. At the end of the day, like I said, we're all human beings, and we need to look at each other as such. Should be no them versus us. We need to look at each other and treat each other in the same way that we ourselves want to be treated. That's the only way we can get past this. So the whole situation is crazy. I'm going to talk about a few more topics. Let me know your thoughts on everything that's going on. How did you feel about everything that went down in Dallas? How do you feel about everything that went down today in Houston with Alva Braziel? Do you feel like he had a gun? Do you feel like the police are lying? And how do you feel about just all these hashtags? And like I said, this is my birthday month. You guys know my birthday is at the end of the month, and this month so far has just not been a good month for not only me, but for all of us. It's just been very, very sad and heartbreaking. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. All right. Be safe. Bye. Hey, you guys, it's your girl T. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share my videos. You can also visit Lovelyti.com to purchase any merchandise. Also, don't forget to click the boxes down below to watch any of my previous videos. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.